and welcome to your active mobility routine. The intention of this routine is to give you something that you can go through on your own in order to actively open up various aspects of your hips and shoulders primarily. Now, the first time you go through this, it is recommended that you go through the full, follow along with me, but once you've gone through it once or twice, you probably don't need to continue listening to my melodic voice, and you will hear me in your head anyway. So basically use this tool as you need it. Now, this specific routine is going to have 4 movements. Each movement will be 2 minutes long, and those movements are going to be Frogger, followed by floor or ground roll-ups. Then we'll do some inchworm, and we'll finish off with reverse bear. Again, each movement is 2 minutes long. As we go through it, I will share with you thoughts on how we can make this a more dynamic and active mobilizing movement for you. So without further ado, let us begin. So we're going to start with Frogger. To do so, we're going to get into a nice wide foot stance. Then we'll sink our hips down, let our knees come forward, hands come down, load the arms, hop, and then sink down. Now, as we sink, we're trying to drop those hips, let the knees drift forward a little bit, and really work on that knee flexion as well as your hip flexion. Then we come forward again, load the arms, hop, and go again. One of the reasons why we time this is so that there's really no benefit to rushing through each rep. You want to really take your time through these reps, especially when we're working on improving your mobility, and let your body sink into things. Feel, which hip feels a little bit stiffer or kind of not as cooperative as the other. And just work through it. Now, while you're in here, as you get more comfortable, you can kind of play around with various things to work on mobilizing actively your hips in a variety of different positions. Now, I'm going to stand up and turn around because my space is limited here. But if you have a nice long distance, just keep going. Rest at the bottom if you can. Okay. Think about the pressures in your foot, how much weight's in the heel, how much weight's in the toes, how much weight's in the ball of the foot. Breathe. We're almost there. 2 minutes goes by fast when you're having fun. Here we go. So next is a roll up. On our back, knees to chest, roll up. This is it. Now, you may desire to kick your legs out, try to keep everything in nice and tight. Also, note that as I go hips up, I'm keeping my chin to my chest, so the back of my head never really smacks against the ground. Doesn't really feel good. And we would be kind of doing the opposite of what we're trying to do, which is keep the core kind of like tight and engaged. And if we let our head hit back, essentially what we're doing is we're extending that length of the core and losing out on some of this aspect of it. So keep that in mind. Different aspects of this. My hands are on my shins now. You can always hands on the ground, or just like this. You might be thinking, how is this mobilizing me, Chris? Well,
Your spine probably loves this. Might not tell you that right now, but it will later. Next up, inchworms. So, the inchworm. Oh, the infamous inchworm. Everyone knows inchworms. But we're going to do them with a little flair. So, legs are straight. Walk those hands out. We're not just going to go to a push-up position and then do a push-up. We're going to go extend, then walk your feet towards your hands. Really load those shoulders. Not a lot of weight on my feet. So the benefit here in the inchworm is getting those hands beyond the shoulders and then walking your feet towards your hands. Again, we're not shifting our weight to our feet, we're keeping our weight in our hands. Keep going. So, working on that toe touch, basically, when we're kind of starting off here, bringing those hands to the ground. Walk out. So reverse bear, we'll go hips over knees, shoulders over wrists. You'll then push through your hands, drive your hips up into the air, step with the foot, step the hand, push. Foot, hand, push. Foot, hand, push. I like the reverse bear, and if you know me, that would come as no surprise because the reverse bear is it's a really sneaky way of tricking your body into doing a single arm overhead press. So if you have shoulder issues, a reverse bear typically, not all the time, but typically is going to be a way to allow you to practice pressing without pain. Step, hand, push. Step, hand, push. Step, hand, push. Now, I like to add to that push. I don't just finish here. I try to really go so my head goes beyond my arm and my ear kind of like touches my shoulder, maybe even slides past it. Just like so. Just like so. Just like so. You're almost there. Keep going. About probably 7 more seconds here. Nice work, nice work. So that was 8 minutes to kind of mobilize, a little bit of core work in there, but more just to get things moving so you could start to do your other training and feel like you're ready to really focus on how you're doing it, not just getting it done. So, hope that's helpful. We will see you next time.